Hi, this is Chris McCabe of e-commerce. Chris, I'm here with Vicky of Payability. How are you doing today, Vicky?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah. We're both going to be in Vegas at the Prosper Show, so I thought we could talk today and catch up. It's a new year. Prosper Show's around the corner. You're going to be there as a sponsor. I'll be there as a speaker, and I'm doing a workshop. But you're probably going to be talking to a lot of people about challenges they're facing around cash flow and presenting them with new ideas, solutions, opportunities, that sort of thing. This is a topic that comes up with me and my clients quite a bit, cash flow and how they can manage things better in the new year versus last year, especially. So what kinds of things are you going to highlight to people that you talk to at Prosper from the perspective of, what payability can do for people?
As you may already know, payability is can get you paid for your Amazon sales the next day, every day. So we can definitely get you, help smooth out your cash flow that way, so you can take your business to the next level if that's a pain point for you. So that's absolutely something that we'll be talking to people about at Prosper. We can also get you an advance on your future sales as well, with a payability instant advance.
Mm-hmm.
I think a big pain point for e-commerce sellers when it comes to financing is
Right.
a lack of options, because it is really hard for a traditional financial institution that has the same underwriting process that they had 30 years ago to underwrite an e-commerce business.
Right.
They want to see a physical storefront. They want to hold your inventory as collateral. It could take up to 2 weeks for you to even get approved if you do get approved.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pain points that we'd love to talk to you about, and that we're here to solve at Payability. We unlike banks that are going to ask hold inventory as collateral when you can't, because they're already all your inventory is
Right.
already in FBA.
It's already sitting in FBA, right? You
Yeah,
can't just pull
how are
it
you
out and
going
say, here it is, you can have it, you can hold it for me.
So, for us, we know exactly what FBA is, and we underwrite businesses based on their Amazon or e-commerce sales, and not based on
Mhm.
credit or more traditional factors. So, you
Right.
don't need to. You can kind of override all those different things that may be holding you back from getting that bank loan and get financing with us. So those are the types of pain points that we'll definitely be talking to e-commerce businesses about.
Right. Have sellers, have they been like complaining about cash flow? It's worse now. Things are tighter. They have to manage the flow differently than they did before. Did they used to have kind of a set it up and walk away system, and now they have to really kind of carefully monitor how quickly they get funds? Because we've talked to a lot of sellers who are having problems getting disbursements on time from
Yeah.
Amazon. It's impacting their cash flow, and they have to start casting about for solutions from a variety of us, depending on, I mean, they might have a listing that's suspended at the same time, and they're worried about that revenue flow. And that's, something I deal with where I jump in. But have you been talking to people who have expressed those kinds of concerns and asked you for ideas on how to solve?
Yeah, one thing we are seeing is, as you mentioned, Amazon not paying on time. So we have seen definitely an increase in unavailable balances.
Mm-hmm.
Where Amazon takes more than 14 days
Right.
to pay the seller, and it could be the next pay period, it could be the pay period after that, and it pays some of it, and
Mm-hmm.
then hold the rest back. So that can get really unpredictable for small businesses selling on Amazon, even larger sellers. If
Right.
you're doing that Amazon payout to cover your next round of inventory, or to pay off your Amex bill that month, that
Mm-hmm.
can be a huge speed bump or roadblock in your business.
Heading into Q4, I mean, people who want to double down on inventory, it comes up in my world a lot because people who have an account suspension earlier in the year, or like I said, they have their top ASIN suspended, they want to double down in Q4 to make up and recoup some of those, revenue losses. But if you're suddenly on financial reserves and you can't get that money unless the orders are 14 days old or older, then they start casting about for other solutions in terms of cash flow. And they can't double down. They're afraid to double down in case there's another problem, and then their money's obviously a suspension. You're not getting your funds until the suspension's resolved. So
Yeah.
all these other complexity or problems comes into it. And I'm just curious how your discussions with people on that topic go.
So, a lot of people do, come to us when they have an unavailable balance, they're worried about getting one again. And I think what's great about payability is that it is, both a permanent and both a short-term solution and a long-term solution to Amazon unavailable balances. So what we'll do is we'll continue to advance you every day on your sales. 80% of your sales rather, because the remaining 20% does stay in reserve to cover returns and chargebacks, and then we release that to you when Amazon releases the funds. So even if you have an unavailable balance, we will still continue to advance you that money as long as you're selling. So that does become that does help smooth out cash flow for people who have had that happen, and kind of act as insurance against future Amazon unavailable balances.
Right. And I mean, the year ahead, we're spending as much time trying to help people prevent suspensions and stay active. Obviously, you're not getting disbursements if you're not active. So that cripples their whole business, depending on how long. If you're suspended, you're trying to remedy that as quickly as possible. But preventing a suspension from happening in the first place, you don't have to deal with these crazy calls with account health services telling you might get suspended, but we can't tell you why. And I'm sure you've heard some of these stories, but at the Prosper Show, I'll be talking about some of that on the seller performance panel. And then beyond that, just one last question. We're doing a workshop, Liam McHugh and myself, about black hat tactics. And I'm just curious, we're helping people prevent the damage from attacks from competitors, especially when they hire out like a third-party service or a black hat service. Does this come up in your world at all? Do people say, well, we only got suspended because we had an attack from a competitor who was buying from us and leaving, fake product reviews or fake negative feedback for counterfeit or for safety issues or condition of the items, whatever, or other kinds of black hat attacks? I mean, is this something that touches, payability customers as much as it does other third-party services, or is it less common for you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't really hear about it directly, but we definitely have had customers, call into customer service, saying, I don't know what to do. One of my competitors keeps buying products and then leaving bad reviews, or messing them up and sending them back to Amazon. So it definitely does happen. We have seen it, and it's definitely an area for concern. What do you do in that case?
Yeah, I'm wondering, I guess, if their anxiety over those attacks, they think their account's about to fall, they think their money's about to be frozen and held up, and then they have to decide at some point if they stay suspended, if they're even pulling the inventory out of FBA or not, which is another cost. So I'm wondering if that anxiety that something is about to happen or might happen ever impacts their cash flow decisions. I know that's a tricky question to answer, but I'm just curious if it comes up in conversations that you guys have at Payability.
Yeah, I would say, a lot of people do ask, what happens, if I get suspended and I'm using Payability. We do stop advancing you funds once you have been suspended.
Right.
But the upside is it does kind of act as, I don't want to say suspension insurance, but for lack of a better word, suspension insurance, because you will already have 80% of the revenue you've already generated prior to your suspension already in your pocket, available to you for spend. So you can use that to order inventory or pay rent or whatever you need to do. So you can rest easy that knowing that you're getting paid every day and in real time, and that you're not going to be waiting on that money as long as it is already in your pocket. So that does help ease people's mind.
So they've already got 80% of it, which means they have a financial reservoir or a cash stash to draw from to troubleshoot some of their immediate needs and immediate problems, as opposed to if they're just waiting for Amazon to disperse their funds as soon as they're reinstated, which might take a while. So I mean, that's a huge difference, right, for those people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Las Vegas in March. I'm hopefully getting there a couple days early so I can enjoy, Red Rock Canyon and some area hiking. So I don't know exactly what day you're getting there, but I'm looking forward to seeing you, and I'll find your booth in the sponsor section.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it, and wish I could say I was getting in early too.
Okay. Take care. Thanks for talking to me today.
Thank you so much.
So Vicky from Payability. Again, I'm Chris McCabe of E-commerce Chris. Hopefully you're going to the Prosper Show. And if not, ecommercechris.com. Find me there and we'll talk. Thank you.